Course for you, and all the contributors, pretty much all of our contributors are in today. We're going to start the show obviously talking about the game, hearing some of the post-game comments from last night. We'll go through it. You're going to participate, I know that. Farhan, Lalji about 3:30. There's no audio on the stream. Okay. Yeah, thanks, people. Colson's working. Colson's working it. Farhan Lalji about 3:30. See what he says about the game. What's he thinking about all the parts to that game? Arash Madani on a Friday at about 4:05. Luc Mullinder live from his swimming pool probably about 4:35 in there. Glen Suitor in hour 3. And a whole lot more. Okay, let's go. Prairie Land Rentals text line, 936-6262. Prairie Land Rentals, 600 Albert Street. You walk in there right now, you deal with the owner. You can talk about that Rider game because he's got season tickets. He'll sit down and talk. So if you need anything for that job as far as rental go, maybe it is a front end loader. Maybe it's something big like that, or just a power tool. Maybe it's something small, nail gun. They have it there, and then they're the Husqvarna dealer, 600 Albert Street in Regina. Prairie Land Rentals, 936-6262. Colson, I'm going to throw it out there, and I know sometimes if people want to call today, because the text line, remember, if it's more than 20 words, it doesn't load very well, and it's hard to read. Just how it is.
Barney just doesn't like to read.
They're very hard to read. And I got contact issues today. 936-6262 if you want to call. There's a 1-866 number, 1-866-767-0620. Fire away. The floor is yours. Best call of the day, I'll find a prize. I think we still do have a SportsCage hat somewhere kicking around.
Maybe some back closet somewhere. Kicking around.
36-34. I'm not going to get to my bets yet that I lost because some people are. I went like 4 for 4 though. 4 loss, 4 win. Where's everybody? If you have to hang your hat? If you have one issue from that game, what is it? Yesterday, because the offensive pass interference. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's a garbage. We've all watched a lot of football. You know, a lot of people played football. Is that an offensive pass interference penalty? I'm going to say, and I'm not just saying this, we're the broadcaster of the Riders, and I honestly think if that would have been Winnipeg and Calgary tonight and they call that on Alfred or Dembski, I don't care. I'm like, that's a garbage call. Come on. So I don't know who 44 is. Do you have that kind of info? What ref that is?
I've actually.
Who was the ref? Who were the refs last night? Who was wearing 44?
Hold on.
Look at these. Yeah, it's okay. So we're there. That's the one issue, but I don't think
that breaks
defines the game.
Yeah, because we got down to the 3-yard line and didn't score.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we got the field goal.
My I guess where I would hang my hat, my sweet CKRM 100 hat, if you're watching the stream at sportscage.com, is confusion in the secondary. And not on the same page, and Austin Mack lighting us up.
Yeah.
And hey, but with that said, I think, I'll just say it, it's football. That happens.
Yep.
That happens in any sport. We have taken advantage of other teams when they do that.
We did
when
it
there's
this
a
game.
mix-up. Yeah, true. Yeah.
KSB had the big touchdown.
Okay, so there's that. Are we going there? And Cody throwing for 5-10. Cody had supper at Memories on Wednesday night. We saw him there. He's probably going there every time he rolls into town now if he doesn't already. Kicking game. Okay, we got it. We got to dig into this now because we are into the season. We are past the quarter pole. Alex Hale, nice guy, interviewed him. My confidence personally, me alone, my confidence with Alex Hale right now would be sitting at about 4.5 out of 10.
Oy.
Anything past 35 yards, 4.5 out of 10 for me.
Well, he made 47? That was his long today.
Yeah, but you're supposed to make those.
Exactly.
That's the job. That's like the accountant being able to fill everything in on the spreadsheet properly.
That's me hitting the 2 buttons that send us to break.
Exactly.
Like, supposed to do that. And then turning your mic off.
So there's that. And some people, I'm going to get to your messages. Thank you so much. 936-6262. What else am I missing that people are losing it about the game? Hey, there's the conditions. What a night for football.
Oh, great night.
And that kind of leads to the Alex Hale. It's like if it was windy and rainy and we can maybe let it slide. It's perfect. And then they kick one that might have been good from 70 to win the game. So that's bad.
Like, again, when they kick the ball that well, they marched the field to get there, right? Like I think there was 2 third down plays. One of them was a 3rd and 10 where we could have stopped them, and we didn't.
I'm going to give him the nickname Shady Tom Valesi. Shady Tom Valesi is my new nickname. If you're watching the stream, did anyone see the clip of when they're measuring for the first down and he rolls the ball? I don't think I've ever seen this before.
I mean, it was our first down, so I was okay with it.
Still.
But yeah. By the way, referee number 44 is Blair Brown out of Calgary. At the start of the season, he had officiated 199 CFL games. So he's not a newbie.
Blair Brown, number 44. Okay, but if you're not watching the stream at SportsCage.com, do you know what I mean? Like, did you see this? The sticks go down, the measuring sticks go down, which, okay, that's fine. And then the ball is there. But then Shady Tom Valesi rolls it. We've seen it in the NFL where they get the card out.
Yeah.
And they go down, which is kind of weird too. But rolling the ball, don't you move the sticks over there? I did chain gang. Gordie Howe Bowl, grade 9 and 10, senior football. I was a chain gang guy. I don't remember doing that. I remember wearing boat shoes though. And one night it got really cold. But I don't know. Tom Valesi, that's not a good look.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to hang my hat on the secondary confusion. And that was... But it happens. It happens in football. Marcus Sayles. Coulson. We have a clip from Marcus Sayles after the game where Marcus is a nice guy. He says, I think we played pretty good. Okay. Sure. But then he admits there was confusion back there.
Man, I think we did really good for the most of the part. You know, there were a couple plays where we busted, and we can't have those in games like this. You know, first for the West and going against a team that's as good as they are, you know, we got to just be a little bit more dialed in.
Sounds about right. Sounds about it. And then there was a time Jackson Ford and Marcus Sayles, you know, were kind of talking about it, and looks like they were trying to hash out who was wrong, who was supposed to go high, who was supposed to go low, whatever the coverage is. Again, it happened. We got exposed on those ones last night. Sometimes it happens. They go to the other side, and it's all good. But we got exposed in that, and like to your point, Coulson, we exposed teams. We did it last night. I think a lot of people too, if you want to, are talking about how we took the time count. We didn't put a player on the field.
Yeah.
Jaden Dahlke.
The missing man.
Yeah. And Mark Killam declined the penalty, which...
Classy.
I think that's the play, right? Like, imagine if he wouldn't have. And I would think that would have been set up before.
I think you would have mentioned something to them, be like, hey, first punt, we're going to do this. You know, if you can just respect us in that.
Yeah, for sure. Hockey, it's been done in hockey with different things as well.
Can we just say, though, like, what a game.
That's the thing.
Like,
what a shootout. And I know Luke was saying too bad it was on a Thursday. I got as close as you can get to official number of bodies that had tickets or were scanned in from a source. I was surprised. I can mention that later.
Okay.
You take a guess. How many actual people scanned tickets were in there?
Okay.
I gotta find this text from this reputable source here, and I'm gonna write it down.
Okay. I am gonna guess. Let's go 28,562.
If this is Price was Right, you would lose because you're way over. I'll give you that as a hint. Okay.
All right.
In the 28, there was no 28,000.
Yeah.
Unless they were shoulder to shoulder in the bowels of Mosaic Stadium and we couldn't see them.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm too high. That's your hint.
That's the hint. That's the hint. Cole from North Dakota, Prairie Land Rentals text line. The game was a letdown as our secondary wasn't great and Cody was on fire. Also didn't expect Blanchard to nail that field goal. The best part of watching it with my father-in-law who had never watched CFL before, he really enjoyed it. And I think I made him a Rider fan. Cole from North Dakota.
There you go.
Thanks,
See,
Cole.
That's the game. If you get them hooked, if you watch this game with somebody who's never watched before, they're hooked now.
Yeah, well, tonight's game could be an absolute shootout as well. Calgary and Winnipeg. We'll get to that a little bit later. Roscoe says Riders could have won. Have to sharpen up the secondary. Yes, of course. It was a 2-point game. Of course they could have won.
Yeah.
Roscoe's probably going to come back with some more stuff here. He's usually good. Dean, another regular. Riders aren't going anywhere this year without a pass rush. You can't expect the secondary to cover for 7 or 8 seconds. Dean in Regina, that is true in any football.
Didn't we just pick up 2 rushers, though?
Roberson.
Yeah.
We have a clip coming up. When are we playing that in the show, Colson? When did we say we're going to play that?
You put it in hour 3.
Is there a clip on Derek Roberson coming up from a high profile?
Yeah. Someone
thanks
who
to Don
knows
Hewitt.
their ball.
Yeah, thanks to Don Hewitt for sending me that one. In hour 3, we got to play that one, Colson. Andrew just says Tom Valesi, also known as Shady Tom Valesi.
I think that was the ref, that number 44, who was...
No, he was the head ref, wasn't he?
Yeah, Valesi was head ref, and then... Yeah,
Brown.
Brown was the ref who threw the flag on the offensive.
Blair or Blaine Brown?
Blair
Brown. Sounds like an alias. Blair Brown. Carter, I love the text message. It's just hard to read. It's long, my man. Okay. I get. We saw each other at the CKRM supper, the no gravy supper. Nice. Yeah, I remember that, Carter. Sorry I didn't get a chance to say, hey, Pat. As far as the pass interference, that's a tough call. I don't like it at all. It was a fight all night. And to step in and make a questionable call like that, probably not my choice. Very true. Alex Hale hasn't proven he can step up in big moments. Lawther used to just about be money on those big game kicks. Sure makes me miss him. The secondary is absolutely horrendous. The defense stepped up for the final 5 minutes, but just wasn't enough. Not often you score 30 points in a game and lose, Carter. It was a classic.
It was such a good game.
It was a good game. We lose, but were we going to run the tape? No. We were going to lose more than 2. We might lose 3, 4, 5. I don't know how many games this year. And I'll get, like I said, I'll get into my bets in a bit. I took the Riders minus 4.5 because I just didn't know. I just didn't respect Edmonton that much. Egg on my face, sure. Go ahead. I'll admit it. Edmonton's a better football team than I thought. Some of us, we were the kid that was like, my dad's tougher than your dad. When everybody's dad was tough. You thought your dad was tough.
Yep.
Then you saw some of the other dads.
And you're like, oh.
They're like biker dads.
Exactly.
They made boilers. They're welders. You're like, ooh, maybe my dad's not that tough. Maybe there's other tough dads too. And that's the Edmonton Elks right now in the CFL. Bradley up in Saskatoon. Concerns. He ranks them for us. Thanks, Brad. Defensive backfield breakdowns exposed. They were naked numerous times. Absolutely exposed is the key word there. 2, kicker. I think you and I are kind of on the same page so far, Brad. Fajardo badly outplayed Harris in the fourth quarter. Trevor threw a two-hopper to an open guy. Okay, can I get to that? Dr. Bill Thatcher today. We're talking at the executive club, and he thinks it was Johnny Johnson's fault for not sitting in that zone. I thought it was Trevor Harris who shorted him. And I think Trevor would probably take the bullet regardless.
Yeah.
He would say, nah, that's on me. But
I'm trying to remember the call that Dave and Luke said, because I think Luke said that I think Trevor was expecting him to come back more. But
that's
Luke's analysis.
That's what Dr. Thatcher said.
Yeah.
I think he shorted him because there wasn't not a lot. Like, there was guys around, but he was pretty open. You could just kind of threw it in. The only thing is the goalposts were an issue there, and then the goalpost with Cody. Yeah, haha. I know. We'll get to that. But Johnny Johnson, Double J, was the longest shot on the board for me for an anytime touchdown, so I took him. And he shorted him by a yard, or he didn't come back to the ball. But yeah, who else? Kyle. My biggest upset from the game is how we were down to the 5-yard line. We didn't put Tommy Stevens in. I knew someone was going to say this. Instead, Harris threw a short pass to open receiver in the end zone and threw it too short and then kicked the field goal. If we would have went with Tommy Stevens, we could have easily. I know, Kyle, I lost money on that, so I'm on that. But I don't mind the play because he was wide open. He was wide open. So I get it, though. Good text message. Oh, here we go. The Rochdale Rockets in the mixer. Barney, do you have enough of a spine to speak on the clutch performer, the Elks water girl? Benny. She was keeping the fellas hydrated. And then he goes into some other stuff here. Benny, how's your ticket looking tonight? Because he had the tie last night. So now he's got Winnipeg outright tonight. Benny. The Rochdale Rocket. Oh. Who had who's no name here? Send us your name. Prairieland Rentals text line. Come on, guys and girls. Tom Valesi is reffing this year's Grey Cup.
I don't know if they set that until right before the
He
Grey
just
Cup.
rolled the ball to the chains. Who's his boss? Come on. Hey, Tom, how many years have you been reffing? Have you ever seen anyone roll the ball to the sticks? I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Has anyone else there seen that? I don't even think they do that at Lemberg versus whoever in six-a-side football. Chester might be a new guy for me. No, he's messaged him before. Great game, he says. Defensive backs need work. Defensive line should have stopped the 2 third-down gambles. Brutal offensive pass interference penalty. Still love Trevor and the team. Go Riders. Chester Block. Good message.
I think Tom Valesi is like top 5 most experienced ref in the CFL. Just number of games.
That doesn't mean anything.
I'm just throwing the numbers. I am letting you make your decision from there.
I want a now. I want a now guy. I don't want an experienced guy. I want who's good now. Hey, it's Jim here. Awesome game last night. I felt a few bad calls, but I think the best part was when Cody Fajardo hit the post like he did in 2019 against Winnipeg. Yeah,
same post, exact same post. And my favorite part was after that, he's running back to his bench, hyping the crowd up. He's like, "Yeah, I know what I just did. Let's all laugh about it."
He was eating it. I love it. Captain Harvey Ryder said that game was 6 seconds too long.
Oh boy.
Benny's coming back. Benny, I'm not going to read those ones. I'm not going to read those ones today. Andrew says, don't see Winnipeg winning tonight. I'll take VA over Drew Brown. I'm thinking the same thing, Andrew. We'll get to that maybe sprinkle of the day later. But I appreciate that. Kim up in Saskatoon. Look at these text messages coming in here like crazy. Okay, so Kim's saying, Barney, rolling the ball on a measurement is a common practice in football. It's not shifty or KG even, though the rest of yesterday's game was one of the most was one of the most notorious refs in Canadian Football League history. The team last night had too many players on defense in zone coverage and not man. And Cody picked them apart, and we need a kicker. We need a kicker 5 weeks ago, Kim from Saskatoon. Kim, I've never seen the ball rolled like that.
Me either.
Against the sticks.
Maybe we just missed it, but
I never have. But Kim, see the thing though, And Kim, you sound like you know football, right? You can't play man all the time, and you can't play zone all the time.
Yep.
It's like you got to mix it up. There were times, though, with that said, that it was one of those things, and we see this with Trevor Harris, our guy. It's almost like he knows exactly what coverage he's in, or the other team's in, so he just throws it there, and that's what Cody did to us.
Yep.
There were times that it was like Cody knew exactly, or the offensive coordinator, whatever the great call was. And that happens. That happens. What a shootout, though. Right? Like, what a game. No one is close. No one is close on the attendance, the unofficial but official attendance of actual people in the stadium. I'm just letting you guys all know that right now. Okay? Some people are making jokes about it, and other people in either way too high or way too low so far. Lewis Ward is at home waiting by his phone. Dylan in Saskatoon. Dylan should be Lewis's agent, because if you look up, he's texted that in a number of times. Carter, you're close with your number. I'll say that. You're still, if it's Price is Right rules, you're over. Yeah. What's the over under on when we're going to start hearing the Renee Paradis to Saskatchewan talk?
I don't know.
Didn't somebody say he's like a last week on the show say he's a firefighter?
I think he is, yeah.
In Carter, your second guess was very close. I'll give you that. Andrew, you're shy on yours. But people are going to say Kim, American. I don't know if that works.
You got to figure something out with the global players then, because...
But global player can go on the practice roster.
Yes, but we need to make sure we have enough on the roster, because both our kicker and punter are global right now. I think you only need one, but I think they keep two in case one of them gets hurt.
But when Greg from Piffle's podcast, who's like dialed on the CFL rules, he said that we can have a global that we just put on the practice roster.
Yeah, but if he's good enough, somebody else might grab him then. So it's a risky play.
Go find a guy in Italy hanging out in jeans. Just get him on the practice roster. Hey, we need you for a few months. Come to Regina, Saskatchewan. I would be surprised if there isn't somebody kicking balls come Tuesday next week at practice. Maybe two guys. Right? Okay, we got to go to break here because Farhan is going to be with us. As we go to break, though, can we play? People didn't get it. Colson. Let's go to Coach Mace. Coach Mace after the game last night, starting with what they did stopping the run, but lackluster against the pass.
Yeah, just mental bust for us. Obviously, we got guys running wide open. Just got to be tuned into the details, man. We missed that on a few occasions tonight, but like anything, we'll go back and we'll attack it, and we got an opportunity to go right the ship next week in Edmonton.
How about your special teams coordinator, Kent Majuri? He had some things up his sleeve tonight, and boy, they almost worked a lot of the time.
Yeah, man. That was something that we were waiting to call, and it was there. We just couldn't quite get it, man. But the look was everything that we wanted. We wanted to be a little aggressive. Just again, similar to the game, just didn't turn out the way that we wanted there.
AJ Ouellette goes down. Trevor Harris seemed to turn it up as the leader just led all the way and wasn't going to let this one get away tonight, it seemed. What did you see from your offense?
Yeah, man, they showed up, man. I thought obviously they was carrying us tonight. Did more than enough to give us an opportunity. Obviously at the end there, we'd really like to convert that last one, but man, these guys, they were marching the field all night, doing a heck of a job. So credit to them. As you know how it goes, we got to show up and do the same thing next week.
Coach, when you have a back and forth shot for shot game like that, how do you prepare for the next one, right? Like, how do you approach it? Which positives can you take right now from it and implement and use those as just sort of the move forward for Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, there'll be a ton of positives to get on the film. Like, I feel like there was a lot of good things that we did as a football team. Just ultimately, we got to make sure that we fine-tune some of the big mistakes. These back-to-backs sometimes comes down to health. I feel like we got out of there fairly healthy. We'll see how that goes. But, we're going out, and this is a good football team that we're playing. So we're going to their barn, and we're going to have to make sure that we're going to have to execute. There'll always be some wrinkles and plays off of what we saw tonight from both sides, but ultimately it's going to come down to execution.
Really, 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 really good job texting in everybody out there so far in the Prairie Land Rentals text line. Colson saying, remind people listening to the stream to hit the like button. Please, if you're watching on YouTube, hit that like button and subscribe. That helps Colson out immensely. Rod and Regina, you are really close on the unofficial, official attendance people there last night. Here, I'll just cat's out of the bag. A lot of people are 28,000, 23,900. Carter, you were close, 23,900. Kevin and Foam Lake, you're a little shy. Roscoe, not bad. Andrew's going off what Twitter said. That's like distributed, and but we're talking actual people that showed up. 23,336 was what I got from my source.
It's not bad for a Thursday.
No, I was thinking it was going to be around that 20. So yeah, I thought, oh, what a, and I guess we could say, it would have been nice to have that on a Saturday late evening because it was such an epic battle, or a Friday, and people still got to drive on a Friday. Which is hard from people from around the province. The tailgate was awesome. There's some good tailgates out there. People are starting to get it. The smells, the lot of burgers, a lot of hot dogs. Everybody that's doing that, you guys are doing a fantastic job. Kevin in Regina on the text line. I was hoping fate was on our side last night. At the end, when Harris one-hopped the TD pass on second down, that would have gave us 38 points, assuming the convert is made, and we probably win. And as we know, 38 was Dalkey's number. Good text message. Kev, one of the regulars here. There was somebody that messaged in here that said it looked like Johnson slipped coming back to that ball.
It did look like his feet kind of went backwards when he tried to lean forward to get the ball when it was short. But I think that was more of his reaction, just quick reaction, than his feet didn't grab.
Yeah. I need to see it. I know it might be tough to find. And I need to see, because for me, and then the replay, what I saw, it looked like Trevor just shorted him, which he's not. It's not a video game. It happens. He's a human being. Don, when you give up more than 500 yards offense, I don't think you can expect to win many games. Not a bad point, Don. Cody was feeling it. He was comfortable all night. Like I said, it looked like he kind of knew exactly what we were in at times, especially that last march in the fourth quarter. He looked good. Heather, I knew there was going to be something like this. Heather says, can we trade Cone to Ottawa for Lawther? Here's hypothetically, would Lawther even want to come back? He's doing his thing in Ottawa. He's playing well. He's got a new baby. I don't know if mom and baby are out there with him or if they stayed here.
I've seen him post a few things on his socials, so I think they're out there with him.
Yeah. No, yeah. Hey, I wasn't good enough. You got rid of me. And then it'd be a lot of pressure to come back and get dialed here. Because if you miss one or two, you come back. That's tough. That is tough. Bulls fan down in the US of A. Yeah, Cody hitting the goalpost. We did cover that. We'll talk to some of our contributors when they come on too, and how it was fitting that it was the same one as 2019 that he hit. Going through more. Let's go back to the audio here, Colson, and defensive game star Antoine Brooks Jr. Talks about some of the confusion and mental lapses.
Shoot, we gotta honestly, I feel like we just need to hold on to our emotions so we can play harder. I feel like we played very hard today. I feel like we need to get more on our tackling and making sure our corrections is right, because it's all about corrections in this league and making sure that, that we don't get the same mess up as last week or the week before that. So for this game, I feel like we played our hardest, and with the week that we had, I feel like we could have did more for sure. But with the week that we had, I feel like we just need to step up and figure it out. We'll be all right.
Man, when you went down in the first quarter there, you are a player that has came back from some injury time after time again since college. Does the doubt ever creep in at that moment, right? Knowing what you, or does it strengthen your resolve knowing that you've always came back?
Doubt have never been in my mind, but is this my last play? It's never about doubt, because I'm gonna always play football to the last play, to my fullest ability. And honestly, if I want to be gone off the field, I'd rather do it off the field. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I want to be hurt, career injury, I'd probably wanted it to happen on the football field. So
yeah.
I mean, for me, it wasn't doubting. I was just worried about my toes and numbness, making sure that my back was fine. And honestly, I ain't want my teammates worrying too much, because I know what type of player that I am for my teammates sometimes.
Talk about the fumble recovery. How'd you manage to get it? Were you in the area originally? It was a scoop and a heck of a run, too.
Yeah, it was true. I was, playing my run fit, watching the whole play, and I kind of knew TC was going like go fast and try to pick it up as fast as possible. With all the people near it, that's what TC do. So I just slowed down and slowed the motion down and picked it up, because I knew if one person shoot at it, the next one going to shoot, and then it's always two misses in a fumble recovery. So I just got to make sure that it's slow it down and pick it up. And honestly, nobody really knows, but I feel like most people would say at home that I'm a better offensive player. So, that once I get the ball, it's just like, oh, she wrote. Yeah, it's just like, oh, she wrote. I try to do as much as I can, but I did play a lot of offense. I just got hurt a lot, so I play defense. Chose to play defense in my college career. So, yeah, nobody don't really know that part.
Well, let's roll back almost 365 days when your defense traded you to offense and you were practicing as a running back. Those skills almost came in handy tonight.
Yes, it did. A very great experience, and I love that the fact that it's an emergency thing, and it's not even an emergency. Even if they feel like they need me to come in and pass protect, or even come in there and run the ball. By any means, I do whatever I need for my team and make sure my team is correct, and that's the type of player I want it to be.
Antoine, don't want to monopolize your time tonight. The goal was to stop Justin Rankin. You were able to accomplish that on the ground. How did you do it? Just making sure we tackling it as a group. It's never about solo tackles when it comes to the Riders, man. We like to collectively make all our tackles together, and whoever get the tackle, man. So I feel like when you ain't acting selfish about how to play and you communicating to your teammates, he'll make great tackles and make great plays. We just had to hone down on the second half and make sure that, that we, hold down on him because he is a good player and he can come out and make plays.
It's time to get the inside story. TSN's Farhan Lalji on SportsCage is brought to you by the Cooperators. Time to get financially fit? Cooperators can build a plan that works for you. Cooperators, investing in your future together.
Best game of the CFL season so far, wasn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Sorry for the delay. I was still recovering, coming down from Earth. I needed an extra 10 minutes from last night's game to recover before I did my hit because staff was excited. Well, they were kind of excited. Like, how do you feel if you're a Rider fan? Because you took part in the best game of the season, but you also saw your former quarterback put up 510 yards in a win in a game really Saskatchewan should have won, right? I mean, I'm sure we're going to talk about some key plays at the end of this, but that game was right there for Sask to fully put the nail in the coffin, and Edmonton came back and found a way.
Yeah, so the thing I said at the start of the show is I'm giving more respect now to Edmonton from what I've seen. I had the Riders -4.5. I thought the Riders, at home. Edmonton's a better football team than I gave them credit for. And what Cody did, Cody, it was one of those games, Farhan too, where it's just, he seemed to know what the Riders were in.
Yeah, he did, and there were some listen. I get that we're all going to give Cody his flowers, and he deserves them. However, any defensive coordinator you speak to in the Canadian Football League is going to tell you that if you're going to play Edmonton, let's find a way to make Cody beat you down the field, right? Like, let's first of all take away Justin Rankin. Second of all, we want to try to deal with all the underneath passes that Cody likes to throw, and let's take our chances to see if he can beat you down the field. And he did. Right? He doesn't always, but he did in this game. And so, whether he knew what they were in, I think what Saskatchewan was in is what BC played, the previous week against Edmonton, right? But there were some receivers running wide open in the secondary that you just don't expect to see. You saw it on that last play there from the Riders secondary that's experienced. They're fast, they're physical, they're all of it. And I think they took advantage of some of their physicality. I think they took advantage of some of their desire to come up and attack the run. One of the things with Cody, with the amount of screen game that he does to be successful, is there's a lot that's open behind it, and you almost don't even have to fake screen passes. You just have to show those looks, and teams overreact. And teams overreact to Justin Rankin and create play-action opportunities. So you're just going to take your chances as to whether or not he can beat you with those shots. And again, he doesn't always, but in this one, he certainly made Sask's secondary look bad.
Yeah, the confusion pieces, and I think you coach football as well. It happens in every game. The best teams, there's some sort of broken coverage. Sometimes when you get hit on it, you're exposed. Other times you're like, "Oof, that was close." Luckily, he didn't see that. That we exposed them on one yesterday too, so that happens. But to your point, and you bring up a good point with the screens and the different looks that they can give, where guys, even if it's a quick little flinch, right? Like we miss the hook and go early in the game as well. That little flinch, and then a guy can be gone, especially in the pro game.
Yeah, you're right. And I don't even know that Cody needs to flinch. Sometimes it's just a case of the receivers showing that look, right? Like one guy shows he's going to catch a screen pass, one guy shows he's going to step out and block, and then the third guy goes and takes it down the sideline. And they react to the receivers. They don't always need to react to a pump fake by Cody, which he does from time to time for sure. So, it's one of those things that teams are aggressive on everything within 5 yards. And that's just the way you've got to play. But, there were some balls that Cody would step up and just rifle over the middle of the field between the hash marks. And, the one thing with him is he really knows where he's going with the ball early. And that allows him to throw with a level of confidence. So if he's comfortable, and Saskatchewan's D-line did let him get comfortable most of the night. Yeah. If he's comfortable and he can step into those throws and he knows he's going there early, he looks off and then drives it, he can do that. He can make those mid-level throws as long as you give him time to do so.
The offensive pass interference call, no, I don't think it defines the game. But it's such a bad look. with an absolute, classic game that we had going.
Yeah, I didn't like it, but I didn't think it was egregious, right? Like you think of the Super Bowl where they called OPI against San Francisco against Kansas City like 4 years ago, and the debate was, did he extend or did he not? So he absolutely does get his hand on the defender. He does, and he is attempting to get separation. But does he extend, or was it simply a matter of hand fighting and that he got contact during the hand fighting? And I think it was more that. I don't know that there was ever full extension on this play that was enough to have it called back. I thought it was marginal. I didn't like the call, but I don't think it's egregious. I think it was close, but I'm not calling that.
Yeah, because it's almost when you see, and I know not everyone's watching the stream, but people watch it, and if they're listening to the radio, it looks like right here he kind of gives the move where the Edmonton guy has to go. So I don't want to say it was a sluggo, but it was similar, right? Where he kind of gives the inside move, and the Edmonton guy grabs him, so then he puts his hand on him, and I'm like, well, and no challenge, obviously, but it was just too bad that's one of the big parts of the game is absolute shootout. Can you show him the clip of the ball rolling? I want to get Farhan's take on this. I've never seen the ball rolled like this when measuring for a first down. So now the stick, we have all seen the chains go down, and then kind of that weird roll like that. That looked a little awkward.
Yeah, I did, and I've seen that before. I've actually seen it once in a college game where like the official actually took the stick and leaned it back, even though the bottom of the stick was a little forward. So yeah, it was a little weird, and I think that was also the play where they the command center moved the spot. So there were some close ones, and you're going to get that in a game like this. Honestly, for me, and you know me, like I love Trevor Harris, right? But it was the previous drive where they had to settle for the chip shot field goal where he has a receiver open in the end zone. I think it was Johnson, and he left it short, right? And, there was some debate on the broadcast as to whether or not he was trying to avoid the goalpost, but you could see on the broadcast, or the crossbar, I should say, that wasn't necessarily a part of it. But, Trevor makes that throw 99 times out of 100, and if he makes it, it's going to get caught, and it's a touchdown, and the game's over. So as much as we talk about the measurement and as much as we talk about the OPI, that's the play that stands out to me.
We have a lot of people messaging in so far. A lot of people think that it was Johnson needs to come back to the ball. Some people saying he slipped. I think Trevor shorted him. Again, it's not a video game. He's a human being, right?
Yeah.
And anyone that's throwing footballs sometimes you short guys that are wide open. I think it was the right play call as well. The other thing that really burns me, Farhan, was the longest play on the board for an anytime touchdown, and I had him. For the longest shot on the board, and he shorted him.
Love it. And I think sometimes when a guy is that wide open, like one of two things has happened. A guy's that wide open, and sometimes you almost try to be too perfect, and you just try to fit the ball and kind of float it there because you've got time rather than just throwing it like you normally do. So either that happened, or somehow Trevor knew that you had him as an anytime touchdown and says, I'm going to screw with Barney. So it's one of the two. Yeah. I kind of think it might have been the former, but never know.
Would you be surprised if we don't see another kicker at practice next week in Rider Camp?
Yeah, there's not many to go around, right? Toronto's going to be doing that on Saturday in BC. They've got a rookie kicker out of Windsor that's going to do it. And if you're Sask and you had to deal with that with Brett Lowther earlier, and you thought you had things solved, and now you don't, because you make the 48, and then on the 46, it's not even close, right? Like it's Sir Shank-a-lot, like that was bad. So yeah, didn't have to worry about it going through the end zone for a single. Leak's just able to pick that up and easily, comfortably take that out. So that was also another defining point in the game.
Have you heard anything on where Paradis might land or what he's doing in Calgary? Is he thinking of playing? Where does he fall? Like, he's raised in Quebec, born in Venezuela. He's a national, right?
Yes, he is. Yeah. Yeah, he's a national, and they're trying to get him healthy and ready to play. So I fully expect him. Like he's under contract with Calgary. He's listed on their injury report, so it's not like he's out there as a free agent available. Like he'll be playing, and I think he has begun kicking again. So I would imagine within the next 2 weeks he'll be back in the lineup in Calgary.
What do you think when Cody hits the goalpost there?
Well, I'm glad he had some fun with it. I know people took it differently, but I think if you're Cody, you know the Sask fans feel that pain as much as you do. So some people think he was showing up the fans by doing that and trying to get them louder and everything like that. But I think he knows that that's one moment. I mean, Cody may have got run out of Saskatchewan, but they both share the pain from that moment. I mean, if you're a Saskatchewan fan and you blame Cody for that, I wouldn't. Like, I think it was just, he threw it in the spot where the receiver should have caught it. And, coaches always tell those guys, don't think about the posts, just throw it regular. The chance of you hitting the poster are pretty slim, and he just happened to hit it there. So, yeah, I think that's a moment of pain both player and fans could share.
How do you handicap tonight's game, Winnipeg and Calgary?
Yeah, can Drew Brown do it again? Like, I got to be honest, like, Drew Brown's first game looked a lot better than his second game. They found a way to win that second game, but I thought he was much better in the first game. So you look at that last game, and Ottawa did everything humanly possible to hand that game back. The number of balls that they should have intercepted from Drew Brown, he was very, very fortunate in that game. That could have been a Vernon Adams 6 interception special, right? So I think that I wonder which Drew Brown we're going to get. If we're going to get week 1 or week 2. And I think Calgary's getting better. They're getting healthier. I like Calgary. I really do.
They got Alfred. They got Alfred. The Moose.
They got the Moose,
back.
yeah.
Man, that's a big target. Do you know anything on this? Close on this one. Do you know anything about this BC Place and the Whitecaps maybe buying BC Place we saw today?
Yeah, I think it's on the table. It's taken a long while for the team in the province to kind of get together and really understand what each other's numbers are and what the proposals are. So I think in the beginning, it was all a case of let's find a way to, let's see if there's a possibility to give the soccer team a management contract for the stadium so that it's no longer PAVCO, BC Place Pavilion Corporation that runs the building. And then within those conversations, I think they put sale on the table as well. I think the province put that on the table. And I say that because the Whitecaps owners are trying to sell the team. And the one thing about that team is there's no assets attached to it. It's the team, right? There's no practice facility. Yeah. They don't own that. They lease it. They don't own the stadium. They lease it. So I think if there's a number that makes sense for the province to sell it and make it now more marketable to a potential buyer in the U.S., I think that's on the table. I still think it's a huge long shot that it happens. I think a management contract is much more likely than an actual sale.
Do you think the reports are true? LeBron ends up in Philly?
Well, it's done, isn't it?
I thought it
got announced this morning.
I thought it was just reports.
Okay, my understanding was that it was done.
Then we just heard reports. And Philly now jumping up on the futures, right? But still, San Antonio, OKC, the front runners, and then Philly.
Yeah, I don't know that this puts them ahead of those two teams, right? I think they're still the front runners, San Antonio and OKC. San Antonio should have got it done this year. But I don't even know if it gets them ahead of New York. So we'll see. I mean, look, what LeBron's been able to do to this stage in his career has been unbelievable. But at some point, I mean, LeBron has won. Much like Tom Brady, they have beaten Father Time. Like, to get to 40 and play the way they did, they've beaten it. But, we'll see what kind of difference he makes. If you got Dustin Nielsen on this show, he would be all over me because he is like the biggest LeBron truther going. He thinks LeBron will be the MVP next year.
Dusty, gotta love him. And hey, Father Time, we're still in the chase with him as well, Farhan. So
you and me, let's do it.
All right, have a good weekend. Some good football to watch, and we'll catch up next week.
Apologies for the delay. Have a great weekend.
That's all right. There he is, our football insider from TSN, Farhan Lalji, brought to you by the Cooperators here on the Sports Cage. We are streaming through our YouTube channel at sportscage.com.
Get $400 when you switch to Reliance Heath.
Coming off the heels of the instant classic last night at Mosaic Stadium, Week 8 of the CFL continues in Winnipeg. Calgary in town, 6:30 our time. The Bombers are 4-2, Stamps 2-4. Western Canadian Baseball League, the Red Sox continue their road trip in Sylvan Lake. Medicine Hat is in Moose Jaw at 7:05. Swifties in Lethbridge. Major League Baseball today, Toronto Blue Jays, Boston Red Sox, 5:15. Addison Barger, season-ending surgery for the Blue Jays. And then the big news, ESPN's reported it. The team hasn't, but it sounds like LeBron James, 2-year deal with the Philadelphia 76ers. SportsCage.com poll today. Should offensive pass interference have been called against the Riders' Samuel Emilus in their loss to Edmonton Thursday? Go and vote. A lot of people are. Vote at SportsCage.com, please. For Reliance Heath, rent a water softener and heater, just $1.20 a day. Get $400 cash back. Some conditions apply. Call on Reliance. Hour 2 is coming up. Arash Madani, clutch performer, and Luc Mullinder will be back after the news. To you by SaskToday.ca, Saskatchewan's source for news. Colson's with me. Colson says, thank you very much, everybody who's hitting the like button that's watching through the YouTube feed at sportscage.com. Hour 2 is here. Arash Madani standing by. We're going to have Clutch Performer, and we are going to talk to Luc Mullinder about the game at the bottom of the hour. Just a couple of text messages on the Prairie Land Rentals text line I wanted to get to here before they get way too down and I can't go back up. That makes sense to me. Don't worry about it. Daryl Pratt says Trevor in the post game had said that he tried to put touch on the ball to Johnson instead of falling through. Sounds about right. You try and put touch and shorted him a little bit, but we would never expect Trevor to say no. He should have came back to the ball. He slipped. So yeah, but thanks for the message there, Daryl. Andrew says Edmonton is for real, but so are we. Like you said, we weren't going to win them all. I'll be at Commonwealth next Saturday. I'm curious on the crowd there now, right? How many people will be at the old concrete slab Commonwealth Stadium? Never been to a football game. Been to a Metallica show there. Kelly from Wynyard, a real long one. This will be tough to read. Not sure what has been talked about. Harris needs to shoulder some of the blame. Missed 2 completions for touchdowns. Defense, they just stunk up the joint. Secondary was terrible. Our kicker didn't lose the game for us. I think the team needs to keep putting him in those situations. It'll build resiliency and help us down the road. Or we just need to bring in a couple of other options at that point, Kelly, because we don't want to get too far in the season with just hoping again. Thanks for the text, though. Prairie Land Rentals text line is open. 936-6262. Fire away. Let us know what you were thinking after that game. Let's get it going with Arash.
It's time to go coast to coast with Arash Madani for Smart Investing Solutions. Be smart with your money. Call Brian Gawley at Smart Investing Solutions, 546-2533.
Instant classic last night, wasn't it? You were probably excited taking that in.
It just reminds you how awesome the game can be.
Mm-hmm.
When it's played at a high level, when it gets electric, when offenses start to cook, when it's going back and forth, when you have 2 teams at the top of the table going at it. I mean, what didn't it have? Here we are the next day. Like this is everything you want in a football game. And then some, Barney. Like it was tremendous. And I get people there are upset and, nitpicking on this and that and the other. Hey, man, the Elks get paid too. They want to win too. Football when it's played at its best comes down to like 5-6 plays that define a game. And, over 60 minutes and all the back and forth, that's just kind of how it goes.
I'm eating some crow. Edmonton's better than I thought they were. I knew they were good, but I didn't know where. I took the Riders -4.5. It's one of the bets I lost. Did you gain more respect from the Elks after watching that game?
Yeah, I mean, look, you go on the road, a gotta-have game, a gotta-win game to really establish yourself, and they did everything they needed to do. And Colson, for those watching the stream, run that last kick back. Like, the kick by Blanchard, a 57-yard attempt that probably traveled 67,
Yep.
And the moment he connects with the football, Barney, watch him. He knew right away.
Yeah.
He's celebrating with his holder with the ball halfway down Main Street. Like, that is incredible. Edmonton right now, and right now is an important part of this because injuries play such a role. Edmonton is the most complete roster in the league, and the Riders are just like, they're right there. But it's amazing, like when you have to make a play, when you have to deliver, when you have to do something, this Elks in each of the three facets did it last night. Now, I say that, second half last week against BC, their offense was a mess. But they just continue to find ways to win football games, and that's the name of the game.
What do you think of the PI call?
Terrible.
Yeah.
There's no need. There's just no need for it. We're just, like in a game that's been so excellent, that's had so much on the go, it's time to just keep the flag in the pocket unless it's beyond egregious. Yeah. And I'm not saying that because I'm on a Regina station. Just in general, like that football game was all of it. Let the players decide it. You know?
Do you think the Riders have a new kicker come Tuesday at practice? Is somebody pushing? I should rephrase that.
Yeah. Be careful what you let out the door, I guess, sometimes.
Do explain.
No, just you know how I feel about Brett Lawther. And this becomes an issue, Barney, because once you start this game of bringing dudes in, auditioning and practice during the season, then it can get really weird. Then everyone's kind of looking over their shoulder. Okay, who's the guy? Who's not the guy? Et cetera, et cetera. So you just got to be... You just need the guy. Need your guy to be the guy.
And I maybe get into this with Luke and Glenn later too, but I'm starting to think, like, does Calgary need Paradis? And do they stay with the young fella? I forget what his name is because he's been cooking. And it's a short, there's 3-4 flights a day from Calgary to Regina. Come in a few days a week, maybe do that practice thing like Scott Schultz was saying. There's a guy in Toronto that lived here that went and played. I'm like, and he's a national.
Just a hired gun?
Yeah, like senior hockey, like the lacrosse league. Just come in for games.
It's a weird one because, like, I hear what you're saying. I hear what Scott's saying. Part of it is you need to have, like, a little bit of camaraderie on the operation with the holder and the snapper and all that stuff.
Yeah.
For practice, I guess your punter can do kickoffs, I guess. I wouldn't be pushing the panic button right now in the kicking situation anyway. It's still July.
See, I did, because it's almost August, and then it's going to be September right away, and then we're going to be like, maybe we should have thought about this.
5 games to go until September.
I just think we wait too long
almost
again.
Almost a third of the season, you know?
We wait too long again. Really, okay. The best part of everything, though, I think, is next Saturday, I get to sit down at the cabin with some cold Great Western products and watch this again with a ticket, with a Sports Select ticket.
Right, absolutely. And the play is the over, right? As long as the weather's going to be okay at Commonwealth. And, like, if that's going to be it, like, why don't we just, cancel the rest of the regular season and just have these two teams go at it over and over again? Because
7 gamer.
Right. That's how good it was. Now, here's what I wonder about that game is, what does Corey Mace have new for Cody Fajardo? Because
Roberson.
You have a long week.
Derek
you have
Roberson.
A long week, right? Thursday and then Saturday. It can't be the same stuff.
Derek Roberson. They brought him in. He's a passer. Should we play it now while Arash is here? They brought in this guy from the UFL, right?
Yeah.
Derek Roberson. Do you have it? Listen, everybody out there. Thanks to Don here for sending this to me. Listen to one of the great NFL coaches talk about this guy that is now in the 306. His data is in our area. Listen to this.
Another player that I like a lot is Derek Roberson. I got to meet Derek Roberson. I got to slap him right on his shoulder pad before a game a couple of weeks ago. Roberson, I love you, man. I love watching you play, yeah, I love watching you play.
I love the UFL, but I'm trying to get back.
Yeah, I want to see it. I want to see it come off the ball. You hear me? You feel me? I know it's late in the season, but that's why we're here tonight. Watch you. Let's go. I want to see it tonight, man. Let's go, man. All right. I love that Roberson guy. This is cool, isn't it? He wears number 50 for D.C. He came out of Sam Houston State. He had 7 sacks and 40 tackles. He was on the championship team last year. This man played for the Tennessee Titans. He had 2 sacks against Drew Brees. But Roberson wears number 50. He is a badass. Him and Cam Gill, I would take on my team anywhere. Look at that strip fumble right there. Derek who? Roberson.
Okay.
You better chip him.
Yeah, we'll run the rest of it later. That's kind of cool, isn't it, buddy?
Very cool. I love that stuff. By the way, here's John Gruden just crushing UFL tape, huh? Like, we thought it was just the quarterbacks coming out of college that he likes. He's watching pass rushers for the DC Defenders?
Something
Avengers, something like that in the UFL. God bless him.
Yeah, it makes me excited to see this guy play, if he does play, if we get him in a Rider jersey. And, because pass rush, obviously, a pass rush is key, goes without saying. Just let's close this up. At the end of it all, though, Arash, goalposts aside, what a night for Cody.
Oh, man. Like, the 500-yard plateau is just a different kind of sphere, 300's an outstanding day at the office. 400 is one for the books. 510 becomes legendary. And, I mean, Barney, I was the first, whatever year it was, 2023, when I didn't think Cody Fajardo had it in Montreal. And all he's done is just continue to produce and deliver since. Remember, we're talking about a dude who was contemplating retirement at the end of last season. And now here he is. He's come in through the first third of the year. And we spend so much time talking about the running back on that team. The quarterback on that team is living up to his end of the bargain too.
Yeah, respect. Tip of the hat to that last night. Last thing on the CFL, I'm very curious in tonight's game, Calgary and Winnipeg, with Alford back in the lineup, catching balls for Calgary.
And I just don't know what to think of either team, to be honest with you. Calgary, to me, Calgary's the better roster and Calgary's the better team. They just can't seem to get out of their own way when it really matters. Winnipeg.
Did Jeffrey pay you off?
Sorry, what was that, Colson?
I said, did Jeffrey pay you off?
Jeffrey hasn't paid me off. Has Jeffrey reappeared?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's in the mix there.
Okay. Okay.
He's excited for tonight's game. He's saying stamp.
He should be.
Quote of the year from Jeffrey on the YouTube chat. Stamps are about to break out.
Ooh.
That's all you need. Right Jeff, there.
I will say this. What I appreciate about Vernon Adams is how accountable he's been over the last couple of weeks, saying, hey, this is on me. Hey, I got to be better, et cetera, et cetera. I can't believe I'm saying these words out loud. I kind of agree with Jeffrey. It just feels like the Stamps are on the verge of doing something. I don't know if break out is the word, Jeffrey, but yeah, they're right there.
We bring you on here and we talk other sports too, and huge news, although the 76ers, from what we see, haven't come out and said it. LeBron to Philly. And for the elementary basketball fan, why does this make Philly so good now, Arash?
Because he's still LeBron James. You can still wind him up and 45 or 50 of the 82 nights a year, LeBron can still produce. They've added Jaylen Brown into that mix, one of the top players on the Celtics team that won a championship a couple of years ago. Like now the East has turned into a bit of a gauntlet. You know, you have the Knicks. Now here comes LeBron and Jaylen with the Sixers. LeBron in Philly is going to be incredible. Like that'll be great theater.
Yeah, they're crazy fans. They're crazy fans. I was actually looking, because again, not a huge fan. I was like, when has Philadelphia won the NBA championship? 55. Some sick pictures there. 67, even better pictures. And in 83. 55, they were the Syracuse Nationals, before someone comes at me on the text line.
83
not knowing.
Would have been Dr. J and Moses Malone and that crew.
Short shorts, big hair. It was great. You know, the thing about LeBron, it's kind of like soccer for me. There are athletes that kind of crack into mainstream, right? A lot of athletes that Ali, your dad, would know, or my mom would be able to. I know who that is, right? Who are they that you think?
Yeah, I was thinking about this. I mean, like, let's just start with soccer, because we just saw the World Cup, and obviously at age 39, with everything that he's done, Lionel Messi, you know, is the number one guy. Now he's come over to Inter Miami and MLS. They won a championship last year. He was everything for FC Barcelona for all that time. I think you go anywhere in the world, he might be right there with Usain Bolt as the most recognizable athlete alive right now.
Oh, where does the baseball player from Los Angeles land then?
Well, Ohtani's another one. You know, you kind of go anywhere. Even if you don't like baseball, you say Shohei, or if you say Ohtani, I think a lot of people know that here's a dude who can pitch. Here's a guy who can hit the ball to the moon. And he's got a $700 million contract or whatever it is. And he does it all. It's just not as global a sport as soccer.
Is there an NFL guy that's cracked mainstream?
I think it's Mahomes.
Ooh.
You know, it was Brady, but I think Patrick Mahomes is it. You know, the Super Bowls, the improvisation, the come from behind stuff. If there's anybody, it's him. And then he throws to 87. So that's a thing now more than ever. Yeah. It obviously was Brady forever, but now it's Sir Patrick.
Any hockey guys in there?
If there's one, it's Ovechkin. You know, here you have a dude who's done it, and Russian, and I mean the performance, whatever it was, 10, 12 years ago when the Capitals won the Stanley Cup, taking the trophy all around DC with camera phones and social media, we got to follow the madness, and he loved it. You know, all-time leading scorer in the NHL now. What hasn't he done?
Can we close with Blue Jays? I'm selling my stock. I'm not. Are they going to sell? When is the trade deadline? And could you see them being going from one out away in the World Series or whatever it was to selling?
It's crazy, isn't it? Like they're up 3-2. They're coming home for games 6 and 7. And now here you are 9-10 months later, and you're going to be selling off the pieces that got you there. Like, yeah, they're in sell mode. August 3rd is the trade deadline. And don't be surprised if before then there's going to be a team interested in George Springer, because why wouldn't you be? Here you have a guy who was the World Series MVP with the Houston Astros, a guy who obviously hit the home run against Seattle to get them to the World Series last year. You want a vet with championship experience off the bench, George Springer. You want a pitcher for the last 2 months of the season to get you to October and then perform in the postseason. What about Kevin Gausman? Here's a guy on an expiring deal who's obviously pitched in October, not just with the Blue Jays, but he did with the San Francisco Giants back in 2021. He's a dude. He's a vet. And Barney, I want to tell you, Shane Bieber, who just came back from injury, whatever it was, 6 weeks ago, he might actually get them the most if they're going to trade him off. So it all came crumbling down in a hurry for a team that unbelievably is now 9 games below 500.
Okay, I'll let you know. So I didn't text you, but here's how it went down for me yesterday with the game.
Okay. Yes, please.
Riders minus 4.5. No.
Mm-hmm.
Under 58.5.
Oof.
No.
Yeah.
Under 28.5 first half, which I thought was Lock City. No. Johnny Johnson, the longest shot on the board for an anytime touchdown that I could have taken. Johnny Johnson, right here.
Oh.
I know, buddy. But I know. Longest shot on the board. But I went KSB anytime. Value wasn't there, but I hit that. I went Javon Leak anytime.
Okay,
Edmonton
nice.
hit it. And I'm playing it all year long. Del Duncan anytime. Hit that. I hit the under on both running backs. Rushing as well.
What did Johnny Johnson anytime pay? 12-1?
If you give me a second, I might be able to pull it up quick. What do you think that Trevor shorts him there, or do you think you found the clip, Colson? Good job, by the way. Or does he slip coming back? I think Trevor just kind of shorts him.
Yeah, and you just, it's so hard to know, like, does the receiver run a little too deep in the route or not? Did Trevor just slip out of his hand? Did it short hop? Did he slip on the logo?
We can't see the angle too. The goalpost is there, and the weirdness of that. But isn't it funny? Last week we see the new overtime rule.
Colson, you're just killing your boy right now with 10 straight replays of his anytime touchdown.
It's okay.
Being flushed down the toilet. I love it.
It's last week with the we see the new shootout, right? The 2-point converts. Then we had the missed field goal for no point. Haralahu wasn't swinging his arms on that one. Didn't happen. And 14-1. No, 13-1. Hey, it's the way she goes, my man.
That's right? The way she goes.
Longest. That's why you play what you can afford to lose.
That's right.
Yeah, we'll bounce back tonight. I'll get something going. I'll get something going for the CFL game. Okay, have a good weekend.
All right, see you guys.
There it is. Arash Madani. Coast to coast for Brian Gawley, Smart Investing Solutions. Since he wasn't with us yesterday, he came today on this Friday. We are jam-packed today. We'll come back with Clutch Performer, and then still in this hour, Luc Mullinder is going to join us to break down the game. Your questions are always welcome on the Prairie Land Rentals text line, 936-6262. Questions or comments. We're going to go to break. We'll be right back. It's the Sports Cage on the home of the Riders, 620 CKRM. Okay, my first one, my Clutch Performer, Colson, if you're going to play it on the stream, but we'll talk it through on the radio. Cody Fajardo's wife, Laura, celebrating the victory, and she does the Russian splits. I'm an old Ukrainian dancer from way back. The old jump up and touch your toe move. She doesn't land it. Still, she was excited. I was curious who was filming this. That's funny. Yeah, Cody's wife, Laura, Clutch Performer. That was good. What do you got for us?
Mine, we're going to the Buffalo Bills' new stadium. I don't know if you saw, but inside the stadium, they have a giant broken plastic table in front of, I believe this is a bar or a restaurant.
Oh, that's what that is. I saw that on social media today.
Yeah, so in honor of Bills Mafia, in the stadium, they got a giant broken plastic table.
Clever. There was some old boss, though, when they wanted to do that. There was some old guys, no, we're not going to do that. Let's not draw attention to that. And then they're like, just sit down, old man. We're going to do this. It's awesome. Yeah, that's a good one. Kellen Solder, they were up at Egg in Motion. Talking to all the livestock people up there, because if it's livestock, the troughs, getting the water to your livestock, they can help you with solar. Keln Solar, family-run business in Lumsden, Saskatchewan. Look them up. Okay, let's go out on the Western Pizza Guest Hotline. It's Friday. Cooking, grab a wheel. Any of the Greek favorites, souvlaki, salad, lasagna from your local Western Pizza. I know we're all hungry now. Joining us, our football analyst on the Rider Broadcast Network, Luc Mullinder. Luc, I guess it's not been quite 24 hours to decompress and look things over, but an instant classic for everybody last night. To your point, I think it was you that said, too bad it had to be on a Thursday, but it was the two heavyweights going at it. Didn't disappoint.
Yeah, this was by far the best game on the schedule in the last 3 or 4 weeks. I thought it lived up to the hype, lived up to the billing. It was a great game. Nobody's playing defense. That's fine. We want to see scoring too. So, yeah, it was one of, it reminded me of in 2010, our home opener versus Montreal, a little bit of a Grey Cup rematch. Man, we weren't stopping them and they weren't stopping us. And I actually, I remember doubles throwing for like 500 plus yards in a win. And, it was just sort of the ignition switch to the rest of the year. We played really well all the way through 2010 then. And, man, this I feel like the Elk are kind of right there too, man. They're playing a really solid brand of football right now. They're playing tough defense. They got a great running game. I thought the Riders did well against their running game yesterday. I think that you've got to limit Rankin and Leak, obviously. And I thought they did a great job against Rankin in the run. He broke some tackles there in the first half that hurt the Riders for scores. Out into the out as the check down. But man, just what a treat for Canadian Football League fans last night.
Should people pump the brakes? A lot of people being really hard on the defensive coordinator and Joshua Bell and what happened in the secondary. I know from coaching football, from watching football, so it's not an exact science. Guys get things mixed up. Sometimes you don't get exposed. Last night, the Riders got exposed on a couple of those, and they were big plays.
I think one of the things that I felt Edmonton did well is they knew who they were. So there was a lot of play out. Like everything kind of ran through Rankin, whether they were throwing the ball long or whether they were throwing the ball short. They still there was always that reminder that, one of the best players in the CFL at the running back position was there. And I think that sometimes, busts are caused by guys just sort of overthinking kind of, what they see in their mind, right? What they see pre-snap versus, during the snap and, different players running into different areas. Sometimes it happens. I think that the biggest piece or the most important thing to do is obviously get back into the film room and start figuring out where the opportunities are to improve, right? So there's a lot on film that they can improve, but there's also a lot that was good, right? Especially offensively. They put up a ton of points too, right? It's just felt like Edmonton had the ball last, right? It was one of those games where the last team who had the ball was winning. They deserved it, man. You kick a 57-yard field goal. That was impressive.
Do you expect more of a pass rush? Some wrinkles. Obviously, I don't know if Roberson's going to be playing next weekend, but the Riders trying to get to the quarterback more, which seemed they maybe had a little bit of a trouble doing yesterday.
Well, first of all, even with Brett Boyko in the lineup, it was a good offensive line. I thought the defensive line played well, right? Like we got there a few times, right? Cody didn't go down all the time, but you were getting him off his spot a couple times. I just think that you've got to get Edmonton into a situation where they can't rely on Rankin. Right, where they've got to go in the air. If they've got to go in the air initially, then they get into trouble, I think. But if they have the ability to kind of threaten you with the run and the pass, they're pretty hard to stop. So, the more you can keep him in second, and I felt like Saskatchewan was getting him into second and 7+ a little bit more in the second half. But again, you got a couple busts there and a couple really good throws too. I mean, you got to give Cody credit as well. That the 3rd and 10 throw.
Yeah.
And the best, so I thought one of the best plays of the game, and nobody's really talking about this either, is when Cody was about to take a sack and actually ran up 4 yards. Like that wasn't, I mean, first of all, the kicker didn't have needing those 4 yards. He could have been good from 67 yards, right? But it was a really smart play that showed a lot of poise and just sort of reminded everybody that, like, hey, this is a former Grey Cup winning quarterback, right? That played in some really big moments. And I thought he was great in that last drive. He made some solid throws, but again, even when he was taking the sack, he had the wherewithal to be like, oh man, I need to actually advance myself here, get my guys a chance. So, you just ran into they just made a couple more plays than we did. And on Saturday, I think the problem Saturday though is if you don't have AJ Ouellette, let's say, again, this is just speculation. I mean, it's not even Saturday. Yeah. But if you don't have AJ Ouellette, I think the Edmonton Elk defense looks completely different. I think that they don't sort of load the box up. I think, and no, there's no disrespect to Conley or TBH, Thomas Bertrand-Houdon, who might play there, next Saturday if AJ can't go. But it was funny how they kind of changed they changed their look as soon as AJ went down, right? Once their AJ went down, they weren't really worried about the line of scrimmage as much, or at least it seemed that way. So if AJ doesn't play on Saturday, I'm really interested to see how sort of Edmonton lines up and plays us. Are they focused in on the run as much as they were obviously in the first couple quarters? So that's going to be something really interesting to see, just what Edmonton does defensively and what the Riders do offensively without AJ Ouellette.
After you've watched it a few times and you took it away yesterday, your thoughts on just such a great game and then calling that offensive pass interference call?
The offensive pass interference, it was interesting. I felt that like both players have the right to battle it out there, right? So I thought it was a bad call, but I also wasn't surprised about the call, right? Like we're a league that's really trying to we're trying to get it right, but we're a league that's trying to figure out just sort of like what is the allowable engagement, right? Like there's been some, because I still feel like it's getting better, but I think PI is still a little bit inconsistent, Barney, right? Where there's been times against the Riders specifically, and obviously we get to call the game, so it's where I felt like the opponent has actually been done wrong, like in terms of what they got called. So there was a pass interference, but when I looked at it on the replay, I'm like, oh man, I don't know, man. I feel like the opponent has every right to do some of the things, right? Yeah. So I think that they're still trying to figure out sort of the balance between what you're allowed to get away with and what's termed hand fighting. I think that it's just, Emilus just got his hand. Like once it's like that, how they always get in the NFL and CFL, Barney, the pass interference, they always try to freeze the shot when the guy has his arm around his lower waist, and is reaching back in there, and the announcer's like, look, there's the arm. Told you, that arm right there is the culprit. It's definitely a pass. You know what I mean? And I feel like because Emilus's hand came over the top and was so exposed, the referee was just like, oh yeah, let's throw that, right? Like, I just feel like, man, he just got his hand in a place that the ref saw it a little bit too much. Yeah. And I felt like it was one of those deals where they called it, like they call that stupid wraparound rule on the offense. Like if the guy's hand, sometimes that hand down there around the hip and waist has nothing to do with the ability to catch the football for some of these receivers, but nonetheless it gets called.
The Edmonton cornerback knows he's beat because it's a stutter go play, and then he reaches out with his left hand, which so like you said, they're jostling, they're battling, and
they're just jostling. I felt like it was a good touchdown. I didn't think there was any pass interference on either side, right?
It's a dime of a ball. Like it's a great pattern. Yeah, it was too unfortunate. Where do you land, Luke, on the kicking game?
What do you mean on the kicking game?
Alex
needs to
Hale.
get better.
Do you think this week we see another guy in there pushing him, maybe taking reps?
I've always thought that, you know, CFL teams should have 2 kickers on the roster. I think that it's like, you know, Canadian offensive lineman, defensive lineman, you always see the guy behind you as a guy that, you know, is there to that presence, even though you're friends and you know, your family during the season, the presence of somebody in your position that can do it well always is a good reminder. I think that Hale, there's only so many times you're going to get away with being like, oh, this is his first year. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, we needed the 40-yarder, you know, and whenever like the crowd is holding its breath, and it's 11 yards out, and you're like, right?
Oh, we lost him. He'll jump back on. Yeah, no, and you shouldn't, fans, we shouldn't be holding our breath when it's a chip shot. Like I said in hour 1, I was a fan, but now it's like we might have a trend here. And how long do we want to go before we bring a guy in? Sorry, you were talking about holding our breath on a chip shot.
Yeah, I just think that, you know, I mean, look, you can't blame it on just the kicker, though.
Maybe he's getting calls. Maybe he's got people calling him right now. We'll try one more time when he comes back. We'll let him finish that thought on Alex Hale, because I still have 2 more questions that I really want to ask him. One is from the Prairie Land Rentals text line, which a few people are.
Sorry, man. This is really sorry about that. Oh, what I'm saying is you can't blame the kicker every single time. Like, the Riders had plenty of opportunities to win that game, right? Like, I actually saw you and Arash talking about your anytime touchdown with Johnny Johnson III. Once he gets cleared past that linebacker level, he needs to stop. Like, Trevor Harris, that's where Trevor Harris was throwing it. He was throwing it to the obvious, like, you see that guy coming up, you see the Edmonton Elk defender, after he drops it, kind of hop over him. Like, he's running himself into coverage at that point. He needs to just gear down. That's why Trevor Harris threw it there, because he's like the most open right now. Yeah. You stop and you gear down. Like, I don't know, like, so there was all sorts of opportunities, Barney, for the Riders to win that game. It wasn't just the missed kick, right? It just wasn't the kicking game. Like, there were a lot of mistakes. So do you need the kicking game to get better? Absolutely, but only because there's a lot of things that need to get better when you look at that game. Not because it was the only thing, right? Like, the Riders didn't come out and play a perfect game on offense, defense, and, you know, kick and cover units, right? And have the only part of the game that went bad for them, the kicking side. So it's sort of a, you know, you got to get better in every spot. But I've always felt like kickers should always have competition in there, always.
Defend Joshua Bell. These people on the text line that are piling on saying we need to do defensive coordinator.
Oh, yeah, well, you know, I mean, they weren't there when we were winning. This is the first time I've heard the new defensive coordinator complaint today. Literally, has there been complaints about the defensive was there complaints about the defensive coordinator last week? Before the bye? Yeah. Right? When have we complained about the defensive coordinator? As a matter of fact, right, like, I think that for what they've done so far, I think the defense has been a lot stronger than I anticipated. I thought the first third of the year, the first 6 games, the offense really had to carry the team. But, man, like, I thought the defensive line has come along a lot quicker than I think some people thought. James Vaughters, I mean, you guys talk about unsung heroes. Like, nobody's talked about James Vaughters. He's played great since he's been here. You know, and as far as sort of the secondary goes, I mean, you had a couple busts. But guys, like, the sky is not falling. That was the Riders 6. They are now finished. What's their record, Barney?
They have 2 losses on the season.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So when you listen, I've always talked since I've come out and been on the radio. I've always told Rider Nation and our listeners that you break the season down into thirds, right? There's not one person on the planet who wouldn't take 4-2 in the first third of the year. Not one. Especially a few years ago. We would have been killing for 4-2. right? So like 4-2, you just went toe to toe with the best team. You're still number 1 and 2 in the league. The three best teams right now in the CFL are the Edmonton Elk, the Montreal Alouettes, and the Saskatchewan Roughriders. I don't care where you put those three, but those three are the best teams by far. So you don't start calling for the defensive coordinator's neck when you're 4-2 and you've lost one game in a back and forth battle. Like, now's not the time. We've got a great secondary. We've got a veteran. We've got our secondary is a bunch of vets. Like, they'll get it right. They'll look on film. They'll be like, yeah, we screwed that call up. That was a terrible call. What the hell were we thinking? Like, you know what I mean?
People want perfection all the way through the season, and it just doesn't happen. That's the beauty of the game. And then we saw an absolute shootout and teams going back and forth. So let's close just on the one more thing on that. I'll let you rebuttal to this. Because I respect the text we're getting in here from the one guy. He says it's the lack of changes throughout the game. The constant prevent defense. They're not in prevent defense. If you've ever played prevent defense, the Riders aren't in prevent defense. It's zone.
We weren't playing prevent defense. Prevent defense is cover 4. We're not playing cover 4 out there at all. What are you talking about? No, prevent defense. First of all, defense is prevention. You're preventing the team from scoring. This is not 94 Madden with prevent, with 4 quarters. Yeah, we're not in quarters coverage.
The big cloud.
Jesus. Because all quarters coverage is going to do. So if you do go into prevent defense, I'm not saying this guy that you're reading the text is an idiot. No way, man. I actually love the fact that they call in and be like, we should play prevent, we should do this. Because at least they care and they're thinking about it, right? But if you're backing 4 guys up in quarters, right? If you're taking 4 defensive backs and they're covering 4 quarters of the field, all Cody Fajardo is going to do is just hit probably the middle of the field, just over the top of the linebackers, and they're going to do it like 6 straight times, and they're going to score. There's holes in every defense, right? It's execution that plugs it. So I get that. I get the lack of changes, but man, if anything, I would have liked to see a little bit more loading up the line and just forcing Cody to throw the ball quickly once he established, because that's where I thought that one of the keys to the game was going to be to get Cody to sort of throw to the edges of the field consistently, like force him to do that. But when he started hitting those deep balls, then I'm like, okay, well, maybe we should just get Cody to just throw the ball quickly. So, like, you know what I mean? Let's see how he does in that situation. Because again, he's a quarterback that once he starts seeing a little bit of pressure, that's when he gets a little bit dancy, right? So I thought, if anything, that's where maybe the adjustment was made. But that's
why the beautiful part of all this, Luke, is come next Saturday, we get to see these two teams go to then the ultimate chess match, right? What are the changes that are made? Yeah, there might be some injuries in that, but that's the beauty of it all. It's 94 hitting reset and getting to play your buddy again in Madden. And it's like, all right, now I kind of know what your tendencies are maybe a bit. I'm going to try and do this. Who's I'll close on this. Do you have an NBA team?
It's the Raptors.
Okay.
So the Raptors are my team. I was a Kobe guy. So when Kobe obviously retired from the Lakers, I stopped watching the Lakers. I really stopped watching the Lakers when LeBron joined them. But yeah, Toronto, right?
Okay, so you're not so much into this LeBron to Philly today that was announced. One of, if not the greatest basketball player.
My buddy was like online. He was like, "Oh man, LeBron to Philly, this is amazing." I'm like, man, all Philly did is increase their icy hot budget by like tripling. Like they're already spending like billions of dollars on rehab on Embiid. Now they're bringing LeBron in to just like add to their training, the training tape.
I saw a tweet. Philly's hairline spray budget just went up.
Skyrocketing. You know what's funny, Barney? Do you know the last 3 teams that LeBron's played on? The only team he's the greatest on is Cleveland. He's the greatest Cavalier. He's not the greatest Miami Heat player. He's not the greatest Laker, and he's not going to be the greatest Sixer. Isn't that crazy? 20 plus years of longevity. He's not the greatest Laker. He's not even Magic, Kareem, Kobe. So he's Shaq. So he's the 5th greatest Laker. Right? He's the second greatest member of the Heat behind Dwayne Wade.
Oh, I don't know about that. I don't know, but I take LeBron over Shaq too any day, but not Kobe.
You're crazy. You're nuts. Hey, you're banana. You are insane. Are you insane? Nope. Over Shaq?
Yeah, all day long.
That is whoa. Like that's like you calling yourself 5'10". That's nuts. That's on the same line.
I love Fridays.
Barney, are you nuts?
I love
LeBron. LeBron is the 5th greatest Laker. The 5th. Magic, Kareem, Kobe, Shaq, LeBron. And you could probably rotate the 3 up top. Like you could probably go Kobe, Magic, Kareem, Kobe, Magic, Kareem, Magic, Kobe, like, right? But there's no way.
You probably put Rick Fox, the Canadian, in front of LeBron. You just don't like LeBron. I get it. It's okay.
No, I like LeBron. I think LeBron's awesome. LeBron has been you know what also is impressive about LeBron? LeBron has been in the most, like, he came up in the most sort of consistently sort of like watched decade, right? Social media was at an all-time high. He's been the face of basketball since 18, and he has not had one scandal. There's not one bad thing you can say about him off the, like, it's just phenomenal.
Yeah.
Right? Like say what you want about the basketball. This guy has been like the greatest ambassador to basketball. Like you talk about Jordan, and everybody says about Jordan, oh man, he was a gambling addict, blah, blah, blah. Man, he played baseball to escape the mafia, blah, blah. Like, dude, like, Kobe was Kobe, right? Like Magic, yeah, plenty of scandal there. Don't need to go into that, right? But like LeBron, like, dude, he's just been like the greatest human being ever.
Dwayne Wade.
Ever.
Hey,
don't get me started on Dwayne Wade.
Are you golfing next Friday in Edmonton? Because if you are, we have to do. I love our Fridays together. Next Friday.
So actually, I right now, Eric Dillon, he's out there in Edmonton. He's a former board member. One of a guy I consider a mentor. We're probably going to golf when we get out there. But if we don't, I'm tying in.
Well, we'll maybe figure out a pre-record or something. It's got to happen. Yeah. Our Fridays are the best. Our Fridays are the best. Okay, have a good time in your pool this weekend. It's going to be hot, buddy.
Yeah, man, I like put this shirt on just for you guys because there's no way I was wearing this shirt before I got on the thing. Yeah, so I'll see you guys later. It's going to be nice.
See ya.
Come by the pool tomorrow. All right.
I might. Might.
Bro, it's going to be like 40 degrees tomorrow.
I know. Okay.
It's going to be insane.
Tomorrow might be the day. Thanks, buddy.
All right.
See ya. Love Fridays with Luke. Love Fridays. We know what we got to send. We got to send him that Gruden thing too. I was going to tell him if he's not listening in hour 3, he's got to hear John Gruden on Roberson. Okay, we got to go to break. I know Colson Sawyer up against the clock. It's a Sports Cage and 620 CKRM. Canadian Football League tonight. Good one. Calgary at Winnipeg, 6:30 start. Western Canadian Baseball League. The Red Sox continue their road trip in Sylvan Lake. Medicine Hats and Moose Jaw. Swift Current is in Lethbridge. Major League Baseball. Toronto Blue Jays, Boston Red Sox, about 5:25 our time. Addison Barger, the season done. Surgery coming up for him. And yeah, ESPN is reporting. It sounds like it's a done deal. LeBron, 2-year deal to the Philadelphia 76ers. Our SportsCage.com poll today was, should offensive pass interference have been called against the Riders Samuel Emelis in their loss to Edmonton last night? You can vote at SportsCage.com. Tomorrow at Extreme Hockey and Sport in Regina. You got a hockey player. You are a hockey player. It is Bauerfest. You can go down for lunch. I don't know what they're cooking, but it's going to be good. Complete Bauer lineup for the new season. Meet some of the Regina Pats from 11 till 1 as well. Plus, don't miss a chance to win great Bauer prizes and giveaways. Bauer Fest tomorrow, McIntyre Street location, Extreme Hockey and Sport. They're local. They support local. Under new management. Hour 3, Glen Suitor will be with us. It's the Sports Cage on the home of sports in Saskatchewan, 620 CKRM. If you missed any of the program today, people, you go and listen in podcast form. It's free wherever you listen to podcasts or on the YouTube podcast as well. It's brought to you by Fries Tallman Lumber. More than a lumberyard, though. Siding, decking, windows, roofing. Delivery available to the home or cottage in Fort Capel and Regina. Freeze Tallman podcast. Okay, I just want to get to some of your text messages because the segment with Luke on Friday, I think it's one of my favorites. No offense to Eric Francis, who's in the off season, but yeah, we're having fun. Thanks to the Brandon, who said it was one of his favorites on Friday. Okay, I want to go back. Prairie Land Rentals text line, Prairie Land Rentals, 600 Albert Street. You get to deal with the owner. And I want to read some of these messages because you guys took the time to message, and I'm going to try and get to them quick. They got to be like 20 words or less, though, or else it's really difficult to get to. Leonard says Saskatchewan's GM cannot make decisions in the moment just because Brett Lawther had one bad year. You get rid of him and ignore all previous years with great stats. Okay, so I think Leonard's saying we should have never got rid of Brett. Sid in the Lumsden area. Barney, with the new field dimensions next year, it is imperative that we get a big leg accurate kicker. The post will be 15 yards longer, and this will be a difference maker. We need an American kicker now to prepare. We had a good one, but went global. So you're talking about Kim. Thanks for that one, Sid. Jeffrey, I'm not going to read your text, but that is the text of the year. Jeffrey saying he went and shopped at a client because he hears him on the Sports Cage. Absolute text of the year. Thank you very much, Jeffrey. I appreciate that. I'm sure they do as well. Robin, maybe. What a joke. Mullinder forced Fajardo to go to the air, and he put up 510 yards against us. What does that tell you about the halfbacks? Broken coverage sometimes, which happens in every football game, and they just happen to hit a couple, is what I would say. Robin, so would you rather play defense and then have Rankin put up 200 plus yards and kill the clock and run the ball? Right? Like, he's a good quarterback. He hit his spots last night. Like, we got to tip our hats. And there was broken coverage. That's on the players, not the coaches. Riders are 4-2. Can we breathe away from sitting atop away from sitting at the top of the West? I talked to Chicken Little, and the sky is not falling. Let's pump the brakes on the panic, folks. This was a really good one from Christy. Has our society gotten so bad that no one can give the Riders a small break in a game considering they're weak? Good grief, people. Seriously, drives me insane. Good message, Christy. She also says she's a big Colin Ray and Billy Dean fan. Can't wait for Wednesday night. Parker. Parker should call in. Parker says he's 11 years old. I appreciate if you're 11 years old and you're texting in so much, Parker. Parker says, do you think we could have covered them more on defense than we did? Absolutely. But they were you're 11. They were confused, right? They had broken coverage, Parker. So one guy was supposed to go somewhere, the other guy was supposed to go another place, and they got confused, which led one of the Edmonton guys nobody was covering him because the two guys got confused. Kind of like when you and your buddies are maybe playing in the backyard and someone's supposed to cover, I don't know, what's a young, great 11-year-old Trey. There's a lot of Treys out there now. Someone's supposed to cover your buddy, and then you're supposed to cover another guy. You're on your guy, but then someone lets that guy go, right? So they could have covered him a little more, Parker, but there was some broken coverage there, and it was two good football teams. Let's remember that, Parker. And we get to watch it again next Saturday, or listen to it again next Saturday. Trevor came at me with a real long one. Thanks, Trevor, for sending it back in. He's one of our regulars. Absolute beauty, although I never met him. For sure, just my rant. Condensed version. Riders were distracted at times, and understandably, kind of like what Christy's saying. D gave up too many explosive plays, for sure. Kind of like what Parker's saying. Harris missed for sure TD. I think we're all in agreement there, too. It cost me money, so I'm... this never happens. Kicker needs to be consistent. Brackets Kim. Thanks for that one, Trevor. And then Roscoe just sends a picture of what he's cooking for supper tonight. Classic Roscoe. It's either what he's drinking or cooking on a Friday, I feel. Thanks so much, guys and girls, everybody, for taking the time to message in. It's still open, 936-6262. Glen Suitor standing by. Colson, let's go in with a Friday edition of Suits.
Time now for press coverage with CFL and Saskatchewan Roughrider legend Glen Suitor on the Sports Cage. Brought to you by Freeze Tome and Lumber. Locally owned, family grown, rooted in our community for 70 years in Regina and Fort Capel.
Looking good, buddy. Looking good. Love it.
What happened? What?
Thanks for hopping on Friday, because I know you were traveling today and you kind of just got home
problem.
And all that. But what a game, Suits. You got to be there. At the end of the day, people, of course, and we are passionate Rider fans. You know. There's people questioning Joshua Bell as a defensive coordinator. There's people saying we're playing prevent defense, which we weren't, because if you've ever played prevent defense, it's nothing like that. I love it. You got to love the passion in Riderville. But I say, listen, it was two good football teams. In games, there's broken coverage. We got exploited on our broken coverage a few times, which hurt us. We'll get to the call in a bit as well. Mm-hmm. But you called the game after the game. Just unwrap it from your lens.
Well, outstanding football game. And if Trevor Harris had 90 seconds after, Cody, and they kicked that 57-yard field goal to take the lead, if he has a minute, the Riders win. So that's what this game was. This game was back and forth, veteran quarterbacks exploiting every little mistake made by both defenses. And it happened both ways. There was some double moves that Trevor had, big plays down the field. That was maybe the most explosion plays I've seen in one game from Cody Fajardo. He's normally an underneath guy, throw behind the sticks, intermediate throws, but he made some big plays down the field, and because he had open receivers. So, just an outstanding football game. Barney, I was lucky in my hat trick here of the games that I was calling. We start out with Toronto Hamilton, where Hairolahu collapses after missing, and the new rules are kicking into advance. We go to Ottawa, and we go into triple 2-point shootout. And then the Rider game, which is two gunslingers just going at it, and the team that had the ball last wins. There's things that can be cleaned up, no question. But this is pro football, and when Schaefer Baker goes off, Emilus had a big game. 500 yards passing for Cody, his best outing ever, and as far as stats go. And he's a gamer. If it's a close game down to the wire, you give him the ball with 60 seconds left, he's going to find a way to make it happen. He just does. Same can be said for Trevor. So again, I just absolutely loved it. When I see games like this, and I sort of step back and I think, man, I hope people understand how much they're getting their money's worth when they're in these games. Wow. Because it's affordable entertainment, and man, is it entertaining.
Let's say you got a chance to go and talk to the officials going into tonight's game, and you go through last night's game, and you look at that offensive PI call from Sam Emilus. What are you saying there?
Yeah, it's not interference. I've been on this for about a week and a half, 2 weeks now, and the games that I have done, the games that I've watched that I wasn't directly involved with, I just think this is getting way too far to the soft side of these calls, and it could be offense or defense. These are pro football players. I've said it many times about the difference between fighting for a rebound in the NBA and PI, or offense or defense, in Canada. There's more physicality in the NBA under the basket. This is where I believe, and this is just opinion, but I really think the league right now, before Labor Day, should almost get on Zoom calls, get the rules committee together, go through and look at every PI so far this season, and find a consensus on where they're going to go. Now, the problem is if they try to adjust things now and make the standard a little tougher, where it has to be actual physical, turning receivers or knocking a guy down or throwing him to the ground, those kind of things, there's still going to be people complaining because of the precedent that's been set now. The precedent right now is if you get close and breathe on a guy, you might get a penalty. So, and I'm exaggerating there, but it's just too soft. It's just too soft. And here's the thing. The players don't like it that way. They want to be able to determine the outcome of that play. And they don't mind the hand fighting. They want a little hand fighting. Receivers too. Knock those hands down. A DB, if you knock a DB's hands down just before the ball arrives, your chance of catching it increase tenfold. So that type of jostling for position should be allowed. And I've said this many times too, but the flag should leave a ref's pocket only when he has no choice. In other words, he's watching the play and he goes, oh my goodness, the guy is tackling him. I have to throw my flag. Not, well, that sort of met the standard. It's pretty close. Yeah, I'm going to call it. And I just, especially in a game like that, it just sort of amplifies the importance of allowing the players to determine the outcome. I think there should be a little bit of a summit go on so that they can make adjustments, find some consensus, allow the coaches to understand where the standard is, and then let the guys determine the outcome of plays. I really do. I think we're at that point with pass interference, offensive or defensive.
Do you know the official's name that throws it was Blair Brown? Do you know, will he get a tape today? Will they sit down with him? Will they talk to him on this, do you think? Do you know how the policy procedure, how it works?
Yeah, they will go over every play, every call, and some that the coaches will send in that weren't called, but they'll send in video and say this was a penalty and it wasn't called. So they'll look at every penalty flag out there, and they'll give a grade. There actually is quite tough scrutiny on the officials, and I think they've done a good job this year. This is the only sort of issue I've seen from the officials. I think the pace of the game has been great. There's been lots of games with very few flags. But again, over the last 3 weeks, the PI problem is way too soft. And I think the standard and the pendulum has swung to any type of bumping or a subtle grab or brushing the helmet. Like that didn't even... It didn't affect either player.
It was a dime. The pass was a dime. You watch it. The Edmonton cornerback, he kind of gets on the stutter go, so he puts his hand in. Then the rider put his hand, and then Emelis puts his hand in, and then Harris throws an absolute dime. And the Edmonton guy, you can tell initially that probably second and a half after, he knows he got beat by a great pattern and a great ball. But then he looks back, and then he's like, oh wait, there's a flag. There was no push off there. There's no hammering the hand down, throwing the guy out. It's a bad look for Mr. Blair Brown on that one. Okay, let's move away from that. Do you think the Riders are bringing in another look-see and another kicker this week after Alex Hale's performance?
Yeah, two weeks ago, you asked me should there be concern with the kicking, and I said no. I think he's young, he's new, he's got a live leg, and let him work through some of these things. And at this point, 3 weeks later, I think it's time to bring in another kicker. And not to cut him, not to cut Hale, part of the miss yesterday, and it wasn't his fault they lost, but part of the miss yesterday was the type of miss it was. It was not a just barely outside the upright. This was a chunker, and that there's another whole discussion on whether or not Javon Leake should have run out like he did, because that was going out the back of the end zone for no point, by the way. And the point didn't matter, but the field position did in that case. But I've always said, the whole late Don Matthews message to me, and it was, if you have a bad game, no problem. Everybody does. If you have 2, it's a trend, and we're starting to get concerned. If you have 3 in a row, you're probably not going to get to a 4th. It depends on the circumstance, but you're probably not going to get to that 4th chance. And the best way to push any player is to bring in competition. And, when people say, well, now you're messing with them and you're doing tryouts and things. Well, if he can't handle that mentally in practice, you got the wrong guy.
Exactly. And we had a text message, somebody earlier that said, hey, yeah, but you got to have the pressure in practice, and maybe, enormous pressure in practice, because it's now it's the same thing as Law last year. Now he's got to go out in Edmonton, if he's the guy, next Saturday, no different than a golfer. And it's like, well, the last one I put over the tracks, and this time I snap hooked it over here. I got a 2-way miss going. It's going to be in his kitchen. There's no doubt about it. And he's young, first pro, right? So that'll be
Barney. Barney, it's kind of like you're a big time golfer, and anyone who's golfed understands this. When you're on the tee box and you snap hook one, you start thinking of 1,000 things that you did wrong, and you're looking at your feet, and you're trying to get your backswing back, and you're looking at your grip, and all of the things that are happening. And does that ever help?
No.
No.
That's why.
No.
That's where the beer cart comes in, and let's just forget about that one. Okay. Exactly. Did you chuckle when Cody hit the goalpost? Because last week, I like it. We watched the new overtime, the 2-point cover, the shootout. It's kind of exciting. We watch Hauerlahu miss and no point, so no celebration this time. And then this week, we're seeing where next year that won't happen, that the ball hits a goalpost.
Yeah, next year when it doesn't happen, just to bring some balance to the discussion, the next year when it doesn't happen, a 57-yard field goal you're going to have to get the ball down to about the 32, something like that to get it there. I didn't do that math probably right, but you're going to have to get a lot closer than where they were to kick the winning field goal. But it was just interesting that it was Cody. It was the exact same goalpost, and it was the exact same end of the field, and as 2019. And when I looked at it back in commercial, had he not hit the goalpost, it's probably intercepted. Because there are 2 Saskatchewan DBs right there. I think that ball is intercepted if it doesn't hit the post. So. It was interesting that it was him. And after the game, he goes, I won't miss them. I won't miss them when they're back there.
Okay. I want to get your expertise on this because you haven't talked about it yet. Do you have the Johnny Johnson forum? The Johnny and people on the radio, does Trevor short him, or should he have stopped up there, Glenn?
A little both. I really do think it's a little both. There's no reason why he had to continue through there. He was going to run out of space anyway. So, it wasn't like there wasn't necessarily a deep defender right on the back line. So it wasn't like he needed to curl up necessarily. But I think Trevor just missed him. And you know what? It happens. These 2 quarterbacks are the top quarterbacks in league history in completion percentage. They're the most accurate quarterbacks in league history, these 2 guys that we saw, and we'll see again next weekend. And we saw so many great examples of that. I mean, almost 400 yards for Trevor, over 500 yards for Cody. And if you make a mistake, even by a few yards in your coverage responsibilities, either side, they are going to exploit it. It's going to happen. If you play against a young guy or a guy that's in his third or fourth year, or maybe even a Davis Alexander as good as he's been, that you can get away sometimes with messing up in the back end and not get burnt. But not against veteran guys. They'll find that hole and they'll hit you on those deep plays.
Isn't it great? We get to kind of watch this chess match again next Saturday. It's like, okay, now let's see what we can change, right? Like I said to Luke when we were joking about playing Madden back in the day, and then you hit reset and you play your buddy again. And you're like, okay, well, we're going to play again.
Double or nothing. Yeah.
I know it. I wasn't sprinkling back then, but yeah. We should. Okay, very intriguing one tonight. What's your take on Calgary and Winnipeg?
Well, big stretch of games here for the Calgary Stampeders. I really, Winnipeg's got a little leeway and they're going with Drew Brown, but Calgary's got a chance to play against Drew Brown, against Winnipeg here, and then the Stamps play in Hamilton with no Bo, or against Hamilton with no Bo, and then they play Toronto, I believe. So you're looking at a stretch that a 2-win team is going to go one direction or the other. It's intriguing to me because Vernon Adams has not thrown an interception all year, and it's amazing, really. It's an amazing stat. The only guy that's been even close to that with 14 or 15 touchdowns and no interceptions at this point in the season was Ricky Ray years ago. So you're looking at like just analytics that are bizarre. So I'm interested to see when that happens, because eventually he's going to throw one. But Calgary at 2 wins is right in a pivotal place here. They have to maybe take a run and get a sort of 3-game win streak going, or they go in the other direction, and now even BC can overtake them with a win in a couple of nights. So I'm really interested in the Calgary look, and you can say they've been close and Vernon Adams was great and all those things, but you got to find a way to finish, and they haven't been doing that. They only have 2 wins on the season.
I'm intrigued. Are you doing the BC game?
I'm not. Dwayne Ford wants to, in the schedule, he always asks for one Vancouver game. So I might do some yard work. I might try to see if there's any way I can salvage that front lawn.
Now you're going to go fishing. I heard you and Tacharky the other night talking, and you're going under these bridges, and there's currents, and then you got to put life jackets on, and you're just scaring me. And we're like, yeah, we're going out there to fish with them, Barney. I'm like, you're not helping it. A, I don't eat fish, and B, now I got to worry about life jackets and these currents wherever we're going.
Don't worry, Barney. I haven't lost one fisherman off the boat yet. Not one.
Okay. Hey, and that shirt, I got to get a screen. Give me a shot of that shirt. Give me a nice shot. Look at that.
Yes,
what
sir.
a weapon. What a weapon. All right, bud. Have a great weekend, and I look forward to catching up next week because I'm already excited for next Saturday night. It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be great. Thanks, Barney. Appreciate it.
There he is. Special edition on this Friday, a press coverage with Glen Suitor for Freeze Tallman in Regina and Fort Capel. Delivery available, more than a lumberyard, siding, decking, roofing. They got a window and door special on right now. If you're in the market, they can deliver to your home or cottage. Freeze Tallman. We're going to go to break. We still have, if Suits is still listening, he's going to want to listen to this. We're going to play the full John Gruden clip on Derek Roberson, who could be playing for the Riders next weekend. You won't want to miss it. It's the Sports Cage, streaming through our YouTube channel at sportscage.com. Get back to the Prairieland Rentals text line quickly here. Kurt Nister, I understand broken coverages, but I don't understand the Elks' first drive when they did not have one contested catch. For me, that is a concern. I know, Kurt, but a lot of times things are scripted, right? Teams, you see it. We've done it to teams. You come out and you script it all the way down the field, and things work exactly how they're supposed to. And then the games begin, then the cat and mouse games. But yeah, Cody was on right from the get-go. John the Habs fan, how you doing? It's been a while. Hi, Barney. He says the Elks receivers were like 7-Eleven. They were open all night. A lot of 7-Elevens closing, if you notice, John the Habs fan, and a lot of markets. But yeah, Cody was on fire, and our defense had some breakdowns. We've established that. Now, does it happen again next Saturday? Let's hope not. Lots on the MLS PI call. I think we covered that off again. Thanks so much for the text messages again, everybody that has been messaging in. Okay, let's go sprinkle of the day, Colson. For Sports Select, make your picks online, generate a QR code, go to your Lotto Spot retailer, scan away. Must be 18 plus to play and play responsibly. Tonight's game, Calgary, Winnipeg. I know, what did Benny, the Rochdale Rocket, have? I think does he got Winnipeg straight out? He's a Winnipeg guy. I'm taking Calgary. Taking Calgary on this tonight. Now, do I like the tie, the 3-point game on Sports Select? Probably. Okay, but I got Calgary to win. I'm going to hammer the over.
You remember those screenshots I took on Wednesday with Sharky?
Yeah.
The over then, which we took in our parlay or whatever, was 60.5. They've dropped the over by 2.
It's gone down. And then the Yacht Club text group that I'm in, they have Vernon Adams over 260 passing. So I might hit that too. And Alfred, anytime touchdown, what is, I know that's on Sports Select because I don't know what the props are there, if there's any props. Anytime touchdown scorer, where I'm looking here, Damian Alfred pays 280. Some value. Just throw it up to him. What is he, 6'5"? 6'7"? I didn't do that for that reason, but yeah. SportsSelect.com. When you're ready to play, bet on the original Sports Select.
Another player that I like a lot is Derek Roberson. I got to meet Derek Roberson. I got to slap him right on his shoulder pad before a game a couple weeks ago. Roberson, I love you, man. I love watching you play, man. Yeah, I love watching you play.
I love the UFL, but I'm trying to get back.
Yeah, I want to see you come off the ball. You hear me? Feel me? I know it's late in the season, but that's why we're here tonight. Watch you. Let's go. I want to see it tonight, man. Let's go, man. All right. I love that Roberson guy. This is cool, isn't it? He wears number 50 for DC. He came out of Sam Houston State. He had 7 sacks and 40 tackles. He was on the championship team last year. This man played for the Tennessee Titans. He had 2 sacks against Drew Brees. But Roberson wears number 50. He is a badass. Him and Cam Gill, I would take on my team anywhere. Look at that strip fumble right there. Derek who? Roberson. You better chip him, and you better make sure the back knows how to chip. Because Roberson, he knows how to end your freaking day. Look at that sack dance. You like that? Roberson, 4th down in the semifinal game last week. 4th and goal. Roberson, he come off both sides. He chews up the right tackle, sack. And it's a freaking critical play.
That's John Gruden talking about Derek Roberson, who the Riders brought in last week. So will he play against Edmonton? Rachel, that's it. High praise from Gruden, though. I told you we were going to play it in hour 3, and I did. Ticker time.
It's time for the Sports Ticker, brought to you by Steelcraft Doors Regina, made in Western Canada for Western Canadians.
In Winnipeg, Calgary needs a win, like Suits said. Stamps in town, 6:30 our time. Western Canadian baseball, Red Sox continuing their roadie in Sylvan Lake. Moose Jaw welcomes Medicine Hat at 7:05. Swifties in Lethbridge. Blue Jays down 1-0, bottom of the first to the Red Stockings on Boylston Street in Boston. Addison Barger is going through season-ending surgery soon with the Blue Jays, and it's reported LeBron James signing a 2-year deal with the Philadelphia 76ers. SportsCage.com poll: should offensive pass interference been called against Sam Emilus last night in the loss to Edmonton? Vote at SportsCage.com. Sports Ticker is for Steelcraft Doors in Regina, Prince Albert, and Saskatoon. Made in Western Canada for Western Canada. Steelcraft Doors, Regina. We're going to go to break. When we come back, Farhan Lalji talking about the game. It's a Sports Cage on CKRM.